That this stuff is damaging Trump. Not at all. Some people may disagree with me. I mean, you're a Trumpster out there and you're looking and it's a constant everyday hit. And you can't deny that it's a hit on the image. But in terms of slowing Trump down, Trump himself, I mean, he's still getting 4 hours of sleep a night. He's getting up. He's moving. He's doing what he can do. Talk about the Mueller investigation. Question. You believe you've come up with a theory that there was a very intentional trap that was set here. Explain that. Flights. Now, he's not saying anything you haven't heard here, but the fact that he is a former CIA analyst gives him, in my estimation, credibility. He knows exactly what these... It is exactly right. This whole thing has been a trap based on that phony dossier, which was based on a phony collusion charge. All of this. You know, I've blown a gasket 2 days in a row over this, folks. You know. All these potential charges and plea deals are based on something that did not happen. There's no reality here. It is a setup. It's a totally manufactured trap. This whole thing has been a trap based on that phony dossier, which was based on a phony collusion charge. All of this. You know, I've blown a gasket 2 days in a row over this, folks. You're not ready to explode over this whole thing. Nothing in this is real. And all of these alleged crimes and all these potential charges and plea deals are based on something that did not happen. There's no reality here. Manufactured trap. There was no Trump-Russia collusion. There was Hillary-Russia collusion. The Mueller team is littered with pro-Obama and pro-Hillary biased so-called investigators. There's nothing about this that is legitimate. And yet you talk to people in Washington, well, there's nothing we can do. I mean, the investigation has run its course. Well, not according to Fred Fleitz, who says Trump should just pardon everybody because this thing is illegitimate, it's bogus, it's a trap, just pardon everybody, and that ends it. Investigation can do. Now, the danger, the people who think, no, the wrong thing to do, they'll tell you, this is just going to ramp up impeachment. This is going to be Democrats. The Trump is obstructing justice by pardoning everybody. You know, I think if an investigation was legitimate, and if there were a legitimate crime being pursued, would carry great risk. But this is not, folks, this is totally bogus. TV, he can do rallies, he can spend as much time as he wants explaining how the very beginning of this thing is phony baloney. There's no reality to it. There was never any collusion. The dossier was created by Hillary, paid for by her team. It was dynamic how a fake dossier and a phony premise has led to the ruination of one life and maybe more, as many scalps as they can get. Shutting this down would not be obstructing justice. Shutting this down would be preserving the Constitution and eliminating a bogus political operation. One more for them. And now he's attempted and succeeded in rising above them. And that is a big no-no. You're not supposed to rise above people in the club because then you become a danger and a threat. And it isolates even more, or I should say elucidates even more, why the Washington, D.C. swamp and the media culture is so hell-bent on getting rid of Trump. It's not simply because he's an outsider and not simply because they don't like him. It's because of the threat that he poses, the knowledge that he has. Right now, as these people, I mean, the Access Hollywood video, folks, it's nothing compared to what these people were saying. It's nothing. What Trump said, one line in that Access Hollywood video, is nothing to the absolute filth that passed for comedy in this roast of Matt Lauer. It's not. And so when the Access Hollywood video is made public by the Washington Post, all of these people go through the pro forma reaction of outrage and shock and how uncouth. This is such hypocrisy. These people, here they are claiming he's unsuited, he's unfit, he is not qualified, Trump is this, he's that. Go to this thing. One of the reasons, there are probably many, but one of the reasons he didn't buckle to this thing is because of what he knew about these people. We don't dare live their lives in public the way they really live them, and they don't say in public what they actually say and joke about and do in private. It's worse. While they are behaving in their ribald, reprobate ways, they attempt to occupy these positions of moral supremacy and superiority so that they can sit in judgment of their political enemies. And as we keep learning what's happening here, we learn here, just as is the case with Al Franken, these are not isolated incidents. This is a way of life. It's almost as though these people think because of their power, their wealth, and their status as stars, that they are entitled. You know who else was at this roast? Are you smiling in there? You got a sly look. You're wondering if I was going to skate by this one? Do you know who else was at this roast? You don't? Or you? And I'm sure the Trumpster laughed. What does this mean? Well, pardon me, I'm a little hoarse today, so I might be clearing my throat a little bit more than usual. But you can analyze Trump's presence at this thing one of two ways. It's there, yeah. So on one hand, my gosh, Trump was with the reprobates. He must be a reprobate. He's sitting there laughing at them. Yet it means Trump was in the club once, folks. Invited to this thing, and he went. But he's not a member anymore. Trump left. Trump has become the enemy of these people who formerly befriended him. So